Leo, you were a player in the 20s, 30s, managed in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. You've come in contact with just about everybody who ever played the game, and your book is filled with interesting names and anecdotes, and I wish we had time to go into all of them. Rather than dwell on any particular anecdotes, I'd like to throw you a few names along the way,
all right,
and have you recall whatever comes to your mind about those people. And one of the first names that came into play with your career was Rabbit Moranville.
Rabbit Moranville lived on the same street I did in Massachusetts, in West Springfield, Massachusetts. And he was the one that taught me how to play.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth, when I joined the Yankees, he sawed my bat in half, left only a quarter of an inch. So when I picked it up, it broke in half. They didn't want any bushers to hit. Get out in the infield where you belong.
Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb, I had one run-in with him at the end of his career. In 29, he was on first base. Trust speaker, hit the ball up through the middle. I knocked the ball down. Cobb had to go around me, and he tried to go to third, and I threw him out, and he said, on the way back, I had to go in, towards the dugout, and he said, next time you get my way, I'll step right in your face, you fresh busher. That's the only run-in I ever had with him.
You never stepped in his way again?
I never got it. Well, he retired right after that, and I'm glad he did. I'm glad I didn't play during his era. I mean, they tell me he was a pretty rough man.
Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig, very quiet. Very quiet, smoked a pipe, played bridge. And, went to bed early every night. Took great care of his body, and it's a crime what happened to him.
Gehrig and Ruth didn't talk to each other much, did they?
Brad, I wouldn't say that they didn't talk. I think they needled one another. Ruth used to needle Gehrig. Gehrig would get in front by 5 or 6, 7, 10 home runs, and Babe would rib him and say, well, I'll see you later, son, and when it's all over, you'll be below me, and it always happened that way. He always passed him.
Dizzy Dean.
Dizzy Dean, one of the greats of all time. I mean, now you're talking about fellas that come to play. He come to play. You dig in on him, like they do at home plate, make a hole, time, dig in. He used to fold his arms and watch you. And then when you got through, he'd say, you comfortable? Get a shovel and send for the groundkeeper, because I'm going to bury you right there. And the first one was right at your head. Down you went. And then you stepped in there lightly. He said, that's better.
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays, best ball player I've ever seen in my life.
My first remember of baseball is being introduced to Leo Durocher on a Friday night in Philadelphia. The man scared me so much that I guess I was so afraid that I didn't know what I would do in baseball. To prove that point is that I went 0 for 4, 0 for 5, 0 for 5 again. I came to New York. I was crying so much in New York. This man came to me and he said, Willie, you are my center fielder, forget it. He said, you don't have to hit one thing. From that day on, I went and played like a champion.